Evgeny. The DeepIn pledge challenges Web3 and crypto companies to transition their infrastructure to decentralized solutions. What barriers still prevent mass adoption, and how is Fluence helping lower these barriers?
Well, I would say that there's mainly like incompleteness of the whole DeepIn is the main barrier for the mass adoption. Like we need to build products that are like really on par with Web 2 products in terms of user experience, in terms of like easiness of use, and so on and so forth. Because DeepIn, brings quite a lot of value in these new products to users. But then we should make sure that it's actually for people easy to understand how to use these products.
Okay, Fluence is positioning itself as a decentralized alternative to legacy cloud providers. How do you envision the cloudless compute model reshaping the future of cloud infrastructure over the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so what I used to say is that DeepIn overall is a sort of Uber for X, but on blockchain, right? So at Fluence, we build decentralized cloud computing, which is also like the marketplace of compute resources coming from professional hardware in data centers and packaged as cloud services for consumers, mainly for developers, for enterprises, for Web3 companies as well. Essentially, this is the alternative to big cloud providers. Which allow to also, like, because it's on-chain, because we have token incentives and efficient economics, we can push prices really, really down for the compute, which essentially very important because right now the demand for compute resources and the scale of compute resources required by AI and like a growth of the digital space overall, like is increasing dramatically. So we need to make sure that we bring compute at large scale and a very low price to customers and to the world to enable this sort of growth of the digital services and AI. I think it's the key here is the combination of efficient token models, efficient technology like on-chain transactions and low transaction fees and all this stuff. And then professional, reliable compute infrastructure that people really can trust to switch from big cloud platforms to this new infrastructure. And that's the key to kind of enable this transition.
Thanks. With the growing demand for AI workloads, how does Fluence see decentralized compute platforms like yours playing a role in supporting large-scale AI training and inference compared to traditional centralized giants like AWS and Google?
Yeah, so on the AI side, there is several things here. There's like a AI training, AI fine-tuning, like when you have trained model and you kind of want to complete it on custom data, and then AI inference when you kind of do the calls to models. There's also a thing called AI agents, which is essentially the bots that utilize model under the hood to do some actions, right? And if you look at the market right now, AI training is done in a big clusters of well connected on GPUs. Fine-tuning you can do on just a single machine, on single GPU. Inference also mainly happens on the same machines as fine-tuning. And then AI agents essentially bots who do remote calls to models. So now what do we have at Fluence? We have network of CPU servers. We connecting, we're onboarding GPUs right now, they're not yet available. But then actually you can do already a lot of AI related stuff on just the CPU servers. Like agents is mainly the traditional just Python code that does remote calls to models, and they just mainly use some external APIs like ChatGPT or like a DeepSeek, like anything. So essentially you can host it already on CPU servers on Fluence network. The fine-tuning and inference, for this you mainly need GPUs, and we're going to onboard GPUs in several months, and also we'll enable these use cases. And then training is actually the hardest part, because for training of big new models, you need this really big clusters, like tens of thousands of high-end GPUs. And we're trying to figure out how to actually enable this. For now, it's kind of hard because these things usually owned by big corporations, and essentially like Elon Musk recently bought like 100,000 GPUs. So for their particular company purposes, but they're not gonna share it with anyone else. So, and this is like the most expensive and the most complex part. But then like the rest we are solving step by step.
Okay, and the last question. Looking beyond infrastructure, could Fluence's Cloudless model inspire a new generation of applications built specifically to leverage decentralized compute? And what kind of apps or services do you think will thrive in this environment?
Yeah, so mainly we see like what we want is people who use centralized cloud who tired from vendor lock-in and being like kind of using these proprietary platforms and have this platform dependency. We want them to move to decentralized infrastructure like Fluence, right? And first of all, it's like essentially like Web3 companies who run blockchain nodes. Like blockchain nodes right now massively in the cloud. That's not the future we want, right? We want blockchain world overall, the protocols to be hosted on decentralized infrastructure providers, right? So this at least we want to migrate existing stuff, existing Web3 stuff, existing Web2 companies who use the clouds. But then one of the interesting example that I like of the kind of new application is AI agents. And the important feature of AI agents that doesn't really exist today, and I want to see it, that agents should be able to manage their own execution. They should be able to say, okay, I'm being hosted here, I'm being executed on this hardware within this protocol, and I have a balance with my crypto stablecoins, and I'm gonna pay to another protocol and sort of replicate myself to another hosting provider or another network. And essentially, if they have this ability to kind of rehost, or like migrate or replicate themselves, they would be self-sufficient. They would be like really sovereign agents who kind of, you can think of this as a sort of another form of life, right? Because they are fully sufficient, fully manage their existence. So this is something I want to see, and I think we're going to see something like this very soon, because platforms like Fluence allow you to allow agents to really interact with, pay with crypto, interact with smart contracts, and essentially redeploy themselves into the platform.
Thank you.